Okay, hello everybody and welcome to week 13 actually. This week we're going to be taking a deeper look into something we've briefly gone over before, the concepts of libel, slander, and defamation of character versus the First Amendment right. First I want to start by explaining libel is a written form of defamation of character. Defamation of character is defined as a false statement that someone makes about you, which they publish as a statement of fact. This can be done with evidence, but the evidence may not be convicting per se. Like somebody might say, "Oh, you were, in a relationship with this person over here," and just because they saw you go into their house or something like that. Or someone might say, "Oh, I saw them, stealing from Walmart," when in reality you paid for the item and you just walked into the store and back out, or something like that. But anyhow, libel is when the statement is written, and slander is when someone is just going around talking about it. But both slander and libel are forms of defamation of character, which is illegal, and it's usually not a criminal act. It's usually a civil matter, meaning that if somebody does this to you, you would be entitled to monetary compensation. You would have to sue them. You would have to prove it. But what I want to do is I want to look at a few of these defamation cases this week, just so you can kind of get a feel and an idea, for what's ethical and what's not, and for what's legal and what's not, as far as posting your opinion online. I want you to remember that now that we have social media and the ability to post websites, blogs, all these type of things make it very easy for you to get an opinion out there, for anybody to get an opinion out there. In the day, in our grandparents' day, in our grandparents' upbringing, if you wanted to slander somebody, your options were you could either go around and do it verbally, or you might be able to get an ad in the newspaper, but it would have to go through the editor, who was like a safeguard and could stop ridiculous claims. There is no check and balance to what you post online. It's you post it, and then if it's untrue or if it hurts somebody, they have to fight you to get it taken down. Here, let me actually minimize this so you guys can see what I'm looking at too. But anyhow, I found an article. It's pretty interesting case right here. $38.3 million is one of the largest defamation lawsuits ever won in America. And basically what this guy did is he leased property, and he abused it a little bit. He spilled dangerous chemicals and things like that, and then he just abandoned the lease and moved on to another place. The property owner tried to sue him because, well, he walked out on the lease and he left the property with, he had a cleanup effort to get rid of the hazardous materials. What this man did, what this Cohen guy did, what this Hansen guy did, he basically, he didn't want to get sued, so what he started doing was he started slandering the company. He made all kinds of claims against him, calling him a fraud, accusing him of Ponzi schemes, mismanagement, so on and so forth. And he also pointed out certain things that were true to help further his case, to help support his opinion. But even though certain things were true, like he did have convictions in the past, his current claims, he basically added to it. He made it sound a lot worse than what it actually was. And because of that, it took years for this to occur, but Cohen did not back down, and he eventually filed a defamation lawsuit. Now, Hansen's original website, which revolved around basically slamming Cohen, the website fell through. The internet service provider, the host, took it down because it was against their policies. So you're not allowed, they just didn't allow things like that to happen. You're not allowed to create a website and have it hosted on their space when it when it involves libel. So what he did was he just got an overseas host, which was a little bit more lenient, and then Cohen couldn't get the website taken down, and he eventually had to file a defamation lawsuit. And he was ordered to pay Hansen was ordered to pay Cohen millions upon millions of dollars because of the damage that this website did to his company's reputation. So you can see how dangerous online defamation of character and online cyber libel can be, because you're able to reach so many people. Had this Cohen guy just went around, or I'm sorry, had this Hansen guy just went around to like his local diner, his local bar, his local hangout, whatever, and just talked to, you know, the people that were within his network or the people he affiliated with on a daily basis, he would have not, he just wouldn't have reached enough people to actually cause any serious damage to Mr. Cohen. But being that he used the internet and he basically broadcasted his own case, if you may, his claims against Cohen publicly online, it did cause him a lot of damage, and it caused people not to lease off of him and things of that nature, and he was awarded millions and millions of dollars based upon what happened. So for this week's assignment, what I'd basically like you guys to do is find a similar case, cyber libel, and just do a one-page summary of what happened. It doesn't necessarily have to be a case where they won. I'd like to see a few of you give me a case where they actually lost, because there is the element of freedom of speech. And the general rule of thumb is, if you are stating an opinion, it's usually not considered libel. Like if you say, I think he's fraudulent, or I think he's cheating people, or he might be, that's not necessarily considered libel. But when you state something as a matter of fact, I know he's cheating people, I know that he's a ripoff, then that's when it becomes a problem, because people will accept it as a fact rather than an opinion. So that, you know, it's like a balancing act of what is going to be considered defamation and what isn't, what's going to be considered, you know, protected by your First Amendment right, and what's not. So just find a similar case. Like I said, they don't necessarily have to win, and just summarize it in a one-page report and include your opinion of how the outcome of that case should have gone. And that will be this week's assignment.